That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a live on remote edition of Notre Dame's biggest question marks this spring are unlikely to get answers this spring edition of the Always Irish Show. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're not. I just don't think you're getting answers to the biggest questions you need this spring, and it's nobody's fault. It is what it is. And there's a lot to go over. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni Boy out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishandy@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. Don't want to see my face? Who's going to blame you for that? Call-in lines. It's going to be really interesting when I get back. It'll be almost a full 2 weeks or so without the call-in shows lining up with spring ball starting. You guys should have a lot of opinions built up and backed up since the last time we did a show. I'm excited to get back and hear what you guys think. Don't forget Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. The former captain, the leading tackler. It's Mike Goolsby and myself breaking it all down. Marathon this week, hour 45 out on the patio, late night talking about some spring ball. It's a beautiful thing. Thanks to everybody that's over there. Really do appreciate it. All right. Here's the deal, man. We've covered it before. Now that spring ball's going on, you got to cover it again. Notre Dame got a late start to all the offseason stuff for the best possible reason. You're in the last game of the year. And it was literally, physically, the longest Notre Dame season there's ever been. You had the unfortunate injury issue all year that plagued that team, and they were so beat up. As a result, there's a little bit of a physical hangover, and it's nobody's fault, and it was for a good reason. The only way it could be for a better reason is that you won the championship. But you made it to the final game, and now you're paying the toll on that journey, and that is a spring where you're not going to be able to get as much done as you wanted. Limitations all over the roster. Some guys are a go, some guys are a partial go, some guys are just watching, some guys can only do certain things. It just is what it is. And as I said on the Monday Night Raw Patreon stream, disjointed is not disorganized. But when I say spring ball is a little disjointed, what I mean is you literally have a certain group of guys that are full go and other guys that are partial go and only doing this and other guys that can only do this, some guys that are totally out. I think the staff's doing a pretty good job of piecing this together as much as they can with who they have, adapting to the physical stuff they could do or not do. I don't know what else you want them to do. In my basic fan brain, it's like, okay, 2025, clean slate, 24 is over, whatever. Yeah, in my brain, the calendar changes to 25 and the 25 season. But to these players that have to recover, it just doesn't work that way. Turn the page, we're in a new year, all these recoveries. And so as a result of the physical limitations and the way you have to run this spring differently, I don't think you're going to get answers to the biggest questions you have. And if you do, I would be pleasantly surprised and thrilled. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So I don't expect big answers this spring in a few different areas. Let's go over them. This quarterback thing. You're splitting up. It's going to be 1/3 reps each with the starting group. If they hold true to what Freeman said and what Gaduli said, and it's going to be an open, fair, true competition, all this stuff, you're getting 1/3 reps. Everybody's getting 1/3 the starting reps then. With mixed offensive lines, with mixed wide receiver group, like all of these different moving parts that aren't full yet, partial parts. And it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Physically, how can you get the answer you're looking for at the quarterback competition? Is it even physically possible For one of these guys with 1/3 reps with the ones, whoever the ones can physically play, it isn't the full O line, it isn't the wide receivers, whatever. I'm not being sarcastic. It's not rhetorical. I'm literally asking, is it even physically possible one of these guys could emerge and be the number one guy in this spring, the way it's set up, 1/3 everything, and then position groups that are all beat up? I think it would be an amazing and incredible feat for one of these guys to leave spring ball, and all summer we're talking about that's the number one guy, and we know it. And when we get to camp the first week of August, that's our guy. I don't think you're going to have it. I don't think you're going to have it. We all want it. It would make everything a lot simpler. It would make August camp way more efficient if you went into it and you just knew, here's our number one guy. Let's build it all around him. I don't even think it's physically possible this spring for that guy to emerge. And if they do, off 1/3 reps with everything, and a guy's clearly head and shoulders above everybody else, you're in a better spot than I think you're going to be. They would really have to stand out and look different in those 1/3 reps and everything to make that conclusion by the end of blue and gold that, like, you know who that starter is in August. I don't think you're going to get it. Look at the offensive line. Goolsby's always talking about how do we get our best guys out there and make our best lineup, and you got a bunch of tackles. Somebody going to have to move into guard. What do? You got guys injured. Oh, Will Black's not even here yet. I don't know whether he could be a true competitor to start at Miami or not, but he's not on campus yet. So with that O-line, Goolsby's looking at like, John, I just see some guys that are going to have to kick inside. You can't have everybody be a tackle and leave your athletes that isn't the starting tackle out. He may be your best option at a guard spot, whatever. How are you going to be able to do that when you have multiple guys slated to start out with injury recoveries and another guy that may be good enough as a freshman to play early that isn't even here yet? How do you do all that? I don't think you get that answer. I don't think you can get that answer without having all the guys healthy to be able to move around. You're just not in that position to be able to do that this spring. How about the defense? I'm not as wound up about the defense as some of these other items. But I'm still saying I'm not being negative on Ash. But I am not just going to act like, oh, no big deal. We changed DCs or you're going to have a top 5 defense again, rinse, repeat, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter who's pulling the strings behind the scenes, but who's calling the plays, who's deciding when to blitz and when to hold off and how aggressive we want to be. And I just want to see it. I understand people saying, John, this defense is built to a place where you should feel pretty good about it no matter who's in charge. That's fine and that's fair. When I see you playing top 5 defense at Miami, I'll feel a lot better about this. And then 2 weeks after that, when you play good defense at home against Texas A&M, I'll feel good about it. I reserve the right to have a little anxiety until I see in the games that it's fine with the new guy. There's going to be differences. It's not going to be Al Golden's exact framework of when to send a blitz and how many guys to send them from and whatever. There's going to be differences in the play calling, in some of the strategic stuff, in your risk, like how willing are you to take risks? I'm not being negative, but this is like a neutral until I see what it is in real time. When it's real at Miami. Look at the wide receivers, man. Malachi Fields, your big, transfer guy, is out. Pauling is out. Faison is doing the lacrosse thing, and he's a partial guy. How much rhythm do you expect to build between these quarterbacks on 1/3 reps with a offensive line that's just playing with the guys they have, and then with the wide receiver group the way it is this spring? I think we want answers you're just not going to get this spring. And so what this leads me to is what I've been saying for a while now. I think the first 2 weeks of camp in August are going to be chaotic. I just don't see any other way around it. I think you're going to need those first couple weeks with everybody back healthy, meaning getting all your O linemen there and figuring out who slots in where, getting all that complement of wide receivers in there. Then see what the quarterbacks do under that pressure with those guys kind of getting slotted in where you think they're going to end up being your starters, your top line guys at all these positions. I don't think there's any way to avoid a chaotic first couple weeks of August ball. The first few days are warm-ups, getting loosened up, getting going, getting greased up. Then you're going to have like a week and a half maybe to try and figure out who the starter is going to be at quarterback, and then what this O-line, how you're going to slot these guys and who's going to start where. Get all those receivers going. You got like a week and a half maybe to figure all that out, and then you're in Miami prep. And you should have a week and a half, 2 weeks of just Miami stuff. That's not a lot of time to figure out some major things. So maybe there's enough in spring that you have an idea where you want to go with some of this stuff, and you could start out there in August. I don't see any other way around chaos those first couple weeks with you're just going to enter. You're going to be a month out from playing Miami and go, I have no idea who the starting quarterback's going to be, and it's going to cause this fan base a lot of anxiety. I just don't think you're going to know the answer. I would be totally blown away and shocked if we leave blue and gold and we think we know who the guy is. Now, maybe we overreact to some things we see in blue and gold or whatever, but we're not getting the full picture and the jersey scrimmage, which is their actual scrimmage game. We don't get to see. Like, I don't know what this is going to be, but Johnny Boy predicts chaos the first couple weeks of fall camp. Now, is this ideal? No, not at all. It's not ideal. That came up on the Monday night live stream of people being like, man, this quarterback's all doing 1/3 of everything with whatever the ones is going to be is not an ideal way to use your spring reps. I totally agree, but what else are you going to do? I totally agree. This is not setting up ideal, but you didn't go get a portal 1-year rental quarterback that you know is going to be the starter. Do you have a better way to do it? You could say it's not ideal, but I don't have a better answer for you on how you figure all these things out. So I think the best you could do is bite the bullet now, spread out these reps among these guys, figure out who the right starter is, hitch the wagon to them. And then the next year when we're doing this and I'm sitting on this patio, we go, we're in a lot better spot this time because we know who the starter is. There's no doubt you could build the 1 reps around that guy and go from there. Maybe also 25 isn't a year where 80 guys get injured. And you could go into spring knowing who the quarterback is, having a mostly or fully put together O-line and wide receiver group. You're just not there as a program. And the only shortcut you really could have went to is getting another transfer quarterback. They decided not to do that. So this program's just got to bite the bullet and get through this. The most important thing is Notre Dame picks the right quarterback. You can't pick the wrong guy and the right guy leaves. That is your worst case scenario here. Picking the wrong guy, hitching the wagon to him, the right guy leaves. You're in a bad spot. So there's no other way around it. I'm not disagreeing. It's inconvenient and not ideal at all. I just don't know any other way to do it. You got to bite the bullet and figure this out the hard way now to end up in a better spot down the road. But anybody expecting to get into the first week of August and have an idea of what you know is going on here, I would be shocked. I would be totally surprised if one of these quarterbacks with 1/3 of everything rises so much above everybody else that it's obvious. So I'm just telling you guys, my expectations, chaos in the beginning of August with serious starting roles to figure out. Quarterback, O-line slotting, who's playing where, wide receiver, whatever. I feel like the defense is further along and that'll help Ash, but Johnny Boy predicts chaos, and it's going to be something we're going to talk about all summer when we get through, spring ball, blue and gold, how they're going to do this. I predict chaos. It's uncomfortable, but I would rather you just go through it one time and get it right than to have to then get it wrong because you want to cut a corner here. And then you got to do it all again next year. It's not ideal, but you got to just get through this the best you can this time. First 2 weeks of August, chaos. Book it. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.